Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Before we get started, I want to thank all of you who participated in this week's poll. And this week's poll was about Victor Wembanyama. And I was just curious, do you guys think he has the potential to be a top 15 all-time player? The potential. A lot of people were saying it's too early to tell. And I agree with that if we're judging by, what he's doing. But when I say potential, I'm just speaking of, given what you're seeing with his current ability. Do you think that if he improves upon that, if he works hard, do you think, again, his potential could be a top 15 player? But anyway, 71% says yes, 29% said no. And if I'm being honest, my first instinct is to say yes. Now, I feel like with any player that comes into this league with potential, the real test is, can they avoid the BS that this current NBA has to offer? Can they avoid getting into that movie star mentality and stay focused, on actually trying to be the best player that they can be? So to me, that's kind of what it's going to depend on. But anyway, let's get to the matter at hand, people. Like I said, we took off last week and did something a little different. But this week, we are back with the Fanboy Files, episode 11, and some more foolishness and entertainment from these fanboys. So, without further ado, let's get on with fanboy number 1. This comes from my Lebron James biggest problem is no killer instinct video. Okay. Fanboy says, the killer mentality thing is bogus and explains nothing. I mean, even if we assume for the sake of argument that James has no killer mentality and Jordan did, the results don't really show that it's important. But even ignoring the fact that basketball is a team sport, James has multiple rings anyway, and Jordan's killer instinct didn't save him from failing 9 out of 15 seasons and quitting on the Bulls twice. Same fanboy, same fanboy song, same fanboy anthem. And if you look at their entire careers, MJ's team won 66% of the time, while LBJ's teams won 65% of the time. That 1% doesn't really justify the argument that Jordan was a winner while James is a loser. Really, the problem with this channel and dozens of channels like it is not that they're making a case that Jordan is better than James. The problem is that you're trying to convince us that, at the very least, one of the most successful NBA players in history actually had a lousy career. All right, fanboys, I see you guys are back in full effect, and I'm here for it. So let's do this. I'm in a good mood today. It's Fanboy Friday. Well, all right, so let's start. I guess it's going to take a minute to get through, so hold tight, people. He says the killer mentality thing is bogus and explains nothing. First of all, I really have to say this, fanboy, and not just to you, but to you and fanboys and girls all over the world, that if you think the killer mentality is bogus, then, we really don't have anything else to talk about. Again, I've said this before. I'm starting to realize that you fanboys are really just incapable of grasping certain concepts, which, kind of makes it pointless to talk to you, except for good entertainment. A killer mentality, fanboy, is essential for how you go about the game. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's your intent Your intent with how you go about things determines how you will execute those things. Again, let's say you're in a street fight. You both may be skilled, but if you are simply trying to win while the other person is trying to annihilate you, you're probably going to lose that fight. This is what Killer Instinct is. This is what Jordan had. And why you want to be dismissive of it because because Michael Jordan so-called failed 9 out of his 15 seasons, well, by that logic, LeBron James failed 16 out of his 20 seasons. Getting soon to be 17 out of his 21 seasons. And here's the thing, fanboy. Let's say this. No matter how many championships LeBron James had, the fact of the matter is if he had Killer Instinct, he would have more. So this thing that you guys desperately seek to call him the GOAT, you guys would have much more of a case. First of all, LeBron has 4 championships in the weakest era of the NBA. He has 4 championships, considering he put together super teams, giving himself the advantage. He has 4 championships, 2 of which is questionable, and 1 of which, the Disney ring, shouldn't even be counted as a full championship. But again, if you're going back to the 2016 finals, the greatest accomplishment of LeBron James' career, Kyrie Irving hit the biggest shot of that season. The biggest shot of that series. It took Draymond Green getting suspended and other factors. So again, LeBron's lack of killer mentality is what really has prevented him from having a legitimate GOAT case. Fanboy, like I said, if you don't understand that, it's really pointless talking to you. Says, and if you look at their entire careers, MJ's teams won 66% of the time, while LBJ's teams won 65% of the time. That 1% really doesn't justify the argument that Jordan was a winner while LeBron James is a loser. Well, first of all, I didn't say LeBron James was a loser. I feel like you fanboys keep missing the point, is when you want to compare yourself to the greatest, then you will get scrutinized against the greatest. So this is the problem. But see, and again, this is the problem with these stats that you're throwing out, is that they don't take in consideration the arc of the career. Again, to me, Jordan has the greatest storyline for a career that one could hope for. It is if it was written in a book, it would be a well-written story. It's a story of obstacles and hard times and triumph and climbing your way to the top of the mountain to become the king. And once you got to the mountain, you stayed the king. LeBron James has no such story. LeBron James' story is a story of things got tough. LeBron got going, putting together super teams, didn't even accomplish what he should have with the super teams. Super team starts to fall apart. LeBron James gets going again to another super team, wins a championship that's questionable, gets going again, wins a bubble ring. I mean, yeah, so these win percentages, again, this is why we don't talk about stats on this channel. Like, you have to watch somebody's career to see the arc of their career, to see how they did what they did. And there is no greater story in the NBA than the Michael Jordan story. And let's get to the last point he brings up. Really, the problem with this channel and the dozens just like it is that they're making a case that... it's not that they're making a case that Jordan is better than James, the problem is that you're trying to convince us, at the very least, one of the most successful players in NBA history actually had a lousy career. Again, fanboy, this is where you guys seem to just have a disconnect. You seem to just don't get basic logic. We are only comparing LeBron James to the people that they tried to convince us that he's better than, that he is clearly not. Now, the NBA has had thousands of players, and out of those thousands of players, absolutely, LeBron James has had a great career. Again, questionable. First of all, let me just get this out here. I've said this before. Fanboy, the fact that LeBron James put together super teams, that will forever be a point of question for his legacy. You can't get around it. It's like once you move the pieces in your favor, you have forever stained your legacy. So yeah, if you want to say LeBron James is one of the most talented players we ever seen, that's relative to a lot of other players, absolutely. But when you are comparing him to the top 5, the top 10 players, for some people it's the top 15, top 20 players, then that's where this point of scrutiny comes in. So I'm not trying to convince you that LeBron James is a lousy player. I'm trying to convince you that he's nowhere near Michael Jordan, that he's not better than Kobe Bryant, that he's not better than Kareem, he's not better than Magic or Bird, that he's arguably, there's a good case to be made that he's not better than Steph Curry and Tim Duncan. There's legitimate cases for that. Steph Curry has just as many wins with a better win record in the finals. Steph Curry has been more influential on the culture than LeBron James has. There are more kids trying to copy Steph Curry than there is trying to copy LeBron James. Steph Curry is more skilled than LeBron James. So yeah, I'm not trying to convince you that LeBron James is a lousy player. I'm trying to state the facts that he does not compare to Michael Jordan. Number one, that should not be a conversation at all. But again, when you're comparing them to players in the top 5, top 10, there is a serious case that he shouldn't be in the top 10. Anyway, that's enough of you. Let's move on. All right, fanboy number 2. Okay, I don't even know if I should go through this, but we here. Same video. LeBron James' biggest problem is no killer instinct. Fanboy number 2 says, I'd take a career like his any day with no killer instinct. Fanboy, I am sure you will, because you have no standards. I'm going to go ahead and say this. There are so many people's career that I would take above LeBron James. And see, here's the thing. Fanboys, let me go ahead and just be 100% honest with you guys. If you guys are not real competitors, then you won't understand this. If you're not a real competitor, you won't understand this. But I just said this, but let me reiterate this one more time. Because LeBron James created super teams, that forever tarnished his career. I would never choose to have a career where someone could look back and say he put the advantage in his favor. Where someone could look back and question my competitiveness. Let me say this, fanboy. See, when you're a superstar in the NBA, when you're labeled a superstar, that is because you are better than the majority of players in the NBA. So what does that mean? That your competition is actually the other superstars in the league. It's not your average players. It's not your role players. It's not even your all-stars. When you are a superstar, or supposed to be a superstar, when you are your Steph Currys, your Dwayne Wades, your Kevin Durant's, your Jokic, your LeBron James, supposedly, your Russell Westbrooks, your James Hardens, your Damian Lillards, your Giannis Antetokounmpos. The other superstars, that is your competition. That's how it is supposed to work. So when you do something where you deliberately choose to join the competition, you are showing that you are not that competitive, and you are showing that winning is more important, that winning at any cost is more important than earning your win. And that will forever be a stain on your legacy. So, Fanboy, I would not choose LeBron James' career over so many. Matter of fact, I probably wouldn't choose LeBron James' career over some people who never won championships. Because I would rather not have won a championship than to cheat to win a championship. But see, I know that doesn't bother you guys. Again, because you're not competitors. But I'm gonna give you fanboys a compliment, though. I'm gonna give you fanboys a compliment. And unlike your king, you guys are not quitters, because I must say I'm impressed with the fact that you will get in 10 content creators' comments a day and say Michael Jordan couldn't win without Scottie Pippen. You guys are not quitters. I'll give you that much. All right. Let's move on. Fanboy number 3. This fanboy, he likes to be in my comments quite a bit. Here we go again. Whenever haters can't actually pinpoint anything tangible to discredit LeBron, y'all go to intangible and use words like fear, killer instinct, heart, and all types of unprovable BS. Well, you are aware, fanboys, that all those words you said do exist. Again, the intangibles are the most important thing. And me trying to explain this to you fanboys is really a lost cause at this point. But let's see here. First of all, fanboy, whenever you have to resort to calling someone a hater, that means you actually don't have anything to say. Like, I do a whole video explaining my point. Fanboy, this has been said many times. All you fanboys need to get together and start one YouTube channel. Again, because, you're all the same. So just get together, start one YouTube channel, and you can say all the fanboys' greatest hits, and you can all congratulate each other, and you won't have any problems. But let me start by this. First of all, fanboy, I would be really surprised if there has not been a time in your life where you have questioned somebody's heart. Because that is a thing. Most humans understand what that means. Most humans understand how to identify that. Most humans understand when that thing is in question. Just because you have a love affair with your king and you can't see because love is blind doesn't mean that is an invalid point. If you're a boxing fan, I'm sure there's been times where you saw a boxer lose and said he lost because he didn't have heart. Where you know that the boxer had the skills, or at least the potential, to compete, but you could tell he lost because he didn't have heart. Now, there is never a meter that we can look at to register your heart, but we can see it with your actions. Fanboys, you know what? I'm starting to think y'all are playing dumb. Let's not play dumb here. We all know that, yes, you cannot, there is no meter to measure fear. There is no meter to measure killer instinct. There is no meter to measure heart. But let's not play dumb, fanboys. We all know what it is. You can see these things. You can see when a player gets frustrated. You can see when a player is beaten before the game is even over. You can see when a player gives up. You can see when a player body language changes. The only way you don't see it is when you're in love. And obviously, you guys have a love affair with your king that is... Okay, anyway, let's move on. We're going to do one more. All right, yeah, this definitely going to be the last one because, fanboys, I'm a little bit disappointed in you guys. It's been a whole week. I took a week off from the Fanboy Files. And you guys didn't come up with anything new to say. I'm very disappointed. So this comes from my Has Kevin Garnett Lost His Mind or Joined Clutch Sports video. And fanboy number whatever at this point, because I don't remember which one you are, says, Bron definitely number 2. You a hater. Well, fanboy, again, enough with the hater stuff. When you say that, why don't you refute something I said in the video? I mean, that would be nice for a change. When you start off with hater, it is clear to me that you have nothing to say. Bron definitely number 2. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Fanboy, look, I put a video out today of why you would think LeBron James is number 2. I suggest you go look at that video. But to make a long story short, the media has used the Jedi mind trick on you, fanboy, to make you think LeBron is number 2. I'm gonna give you a brief summary. So, if you want to sell something for more than the price that it's worth, let's say you got a set of speakers and you want to sell it for $500, but you know they're not worth $500. What can you do to get the public to buy it for $500? Well, simple. You say, well, these speakers are on sale. They were $750, and now people are thinking, I'm saving $250 instead of thinking these speakers still aren't worth $500. This is what the media did with LeBron James, fanboy. The media compared him to Jordan, which most people know is ridiculous. So when they started saying, well, he's at least number 2, people were more willing to accept that. But anyway, fanboys, y'all got to do better. Look, I'm gonna issue a challenge to you guys. For next week, Fanboy Files, I got a challenge for you guys. When you comment on my videos, try not to bring up Scottie Pippen. Try not to call me a hater. Try not to bring up Jordan had Phil Jackson in a great front office. Try not to bring up how much pressure LeBron was under. Try not to bring up that LeBron didn't have any help. Let's start there. Let's see if you guys can come up with something new for next week. But anyway, that is going to wrap it up for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I will see you next time. All right.